Hi, I'm Bishop Brian Cochran, and I want to talk to you for a couple of moments about becoming a part of GW Christian Biz Network, and we want to help you build a kingdom. I want to share my testimony of my little journey of how I got to this place where I want to help others to do what I'm doing. I got saved in 1992, and I had some music stores, a retail business, and when I got saved, I had this zeal, and people were coming to my store because I was excited about Jesus, and folks were getting saved, and some folks didn't like it, and I didn't care because I had the zeal of just loving God and loving God's people and wanting to help people to know the God of my salvation, fill the hole that was in my void in my life. And so using my business was a great tool because it was a secular music store where I carried all kind of music, all kind of things, and in the process of that, I learned that others like myself got some bad information, and I want to kind of share what happened to me, so that way my goal now and vision and heart and my desire is to help those not to go down the road I did. So what happened was, as people learned that I had a music store, they felt themselves as Christian, wanted to come and share that how can I be saved and have a secular store and sell secular music. Back then Snoop Dogg and Marilyn Manson and a bunch of others like that were out there. But at the same time, there was great Christian music that when people would come into my store, I would share that, I would let them listen to their music. I say, hey, look, try this out. So I would let them listen to some of the Christian music that I had. Some liked it, some didn't, some bought it, some didn't. But my whole goal was just to sow a seed, which I didn't know that then, but I just knew that there is an alternative to the world, and it's Christ. And even though he's not the alternative, but for them, it's an alternative. And so almost every week on a constant basis, folks would come into the store and they would say, hey, the Lord sent me to ask you, why are you selling secular music? How can you be a Christian and sell secular music? But at that time, I couldn't understand it because people were getting saved. This is how I made my living. And I was sharing the gospel in my way. I would play Christian music 70% of the time, secular music 30% of the time. And our store was, I bathed it in prayer, even though I didn't know all that stuff as I know it now. But I would pray before the doors opened. I made God first in my life as far as I knew at that time as a new Christian. But my zeal and love for God was more than anything else. And people were coming into my environment, not me going into their environment, to learn for me to be able to, on a personal relationship, develop those relationships to be able to share my faith in the God of my salvation. And so I eventually moved out of the area, moved down to El Centro, and the same thing happened down there where, well-meaning religious folks were coming in and saying, hey, Brian, how can you have a secular store and be a Christian? And then when I became a pastor, it became even worse. How can I be a pastor and selling secular music? And how can I have a business and be a minister of the gospel? And all these misnomers and just flat out just non-truths about our God and what he wants for us in the marketplace. And so in the process of that, eventually after a while, I gave in because if this many people are coming to me telling me that God will bless me, close the store, he will provide my every needs according to his riches and glory. And they would bring all these different scriptures in to share with me about that. But what I learned was that they said, okay, I said, well, I'll trust God. He said, you trust God, then God will provide. So I listened after a while and closed my business and have been broke ever since, because God had not intended for me to close the store. But maybe listening to these other people, less folks got saved because, again, them coming into my environment, them coming into my place of business, them coming into my sphere of influence, I was able to share the gospel. So coming forward, I had to go through these trials and tribulations to learn about marketplace ministry and understand that you, having a business, are a minister of the gospel as well, that you have importance in the kingdom, that there's threefold parts that you bring to the kingdom. One is money, one is prayer, and one is people. Because they get saved through your business, you're an influence, you're supposed to be salt and light, and all these wonderful things that come about that we're going to help you to learn in GW Christian Business Network. So I just want to share this short little something, just kind of give you an idea of my little journey, and I didn't go into all the details because I can wear out some time because it was a long journey. It's several years that I went through this, but coming into a revelation of understanding that marketplace ministry is important, that there is a place in the church, and my goal and our team's goal is to help you to understand that you can, as an entrepreneur or working in the business in the business community. So, say you work at a job somewhere, that you have a place to work, to seek and save which that is lost, but doing it in a loving, caring manner, and that you can help build the kingdom through your resources, through your tithe, your talent, and your treasure. And that's what we want to share with you. So, but I'm below. Subscribe. Join us. Become a part of us. For more information, just go to our website. It's ChristianBizNetwork.com, and we'll gladly bring you on board and help you with what we're trying to do here. And thank you so much for this opportunity. God bless you.